Hey guys, you're welcome to the channel. My name is Amaka and this is Lizama Stitches. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to cut and sew a trendy structure to your dress. So if this looks like what you like to learn, keep watching. Let's get started. Now this is the satin I'll be using for this project, and this is my Brazilian bone. Now I've cut my bone into pieces. The longest length I have here is 26 inches, followed by 22 and 18. So I spaced it by 4 inches, but it's optional. You can space yours by 2 inches. It all depends on how you want to do yours, but for this one I spaced it by 4 inches. Now though my bone is 0.5 inches. Now let me keep this aside. So I've cut out my bone. I've cut out my fabric. My fabric is 2 inches. 2 inches. Now when I put these 2 inches on fold, I'm going to have 1 inch. I'm going to have 1 inch. So I'm going to use half inch for my seam allowance and half inch for the boning, because I said the boning is half inch. So that's just it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew it. I'm going to sew it with half inch seam allowance. And I'll do the same thing on these ones. Then I'll show you how to fix your boning. Now after sewing, this is what I'll have. Now let me show you how to turn your fabric. Let me show you how to turn your fabric. Now this is my needle. I have my needle and my thread here. Now I'm going to hook here, and now this is the head of my needle, so I'm going to push it in here. So I'm going to turn the other ones the same way. So I'm going to insert my boning just like this. So now this is it. Now when inserting your boning, this joining you have here, let it be at the middle. Let it be at the middle. Just like this. The joining should be at the middle. So this is what I'm going to have after inserting it. So the same way I did this, I'm going to do these ones. Now, after inserting it, I ironed it. I've ironed it. I've ironed it. Now, after that, now I'm going to embellish my structure with this applique. I'm going to embellish it with this applique. Now you can just use any applique of your choice and design your own. But if you don't want to design it with anything, you can also use it without applique. So this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to hold my now this is the good part. The good part of this boning, this rigida boning, is that you can sew it. It's sewable. But the plastic one is not sewable. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to arrange it this way. I'm going to arrange it. Now as I arrange it, I'm going to flatten it so that it will not be too thick around here. It will not be too thick around here. I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to do something like this, and I'm going to sew it. I'll sew it from inside. So after sewing, I'm going to have something like this. Now I have to sew it one by one, so that it will be flat around here. If I gather it together and before sewing it, it will be too thick and it will not be nice. So I think the best way to do it is to arrange it one by one like this, so that it can still be flat, so that it can be flat. Now after that, I'm going to cover it with, now you can use lace trimmings or applique, whatever you can use to cover it and make it not to be noticeable, still make it to be neat. Now I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to use this to cover it. I'm going to do something like this. So and now I'm going to use needle and thread to tack this applique. Tack it, design it very well. So I'm going to do it and show you the outcome. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this to also design this. I'm done. So this is it. Look at how I designed the structure. You see, I used the applique and designed it. I actually tacked it. I used needle and thread to tack it. And now this part, I used this lace trimmings to cover this part, so that you don't see the rough edges. And another thing I did was I placed these things one by one. I didn't sew it together. I just fixed it one by one, and that is why it's flat. I think that's the best way of doing this thing, and that's the good reason. That's the reason why it's good to use Brazilian boning, because so that you can sew it one by one. So that's just it with this tutorial. I'm going to wear this on my mannequin for you to see the outcome. So this is it. So I'm going to stop here for now. Now, if you have any question, feel free to ask questions. I'll be in the comment section to answer all your questions. If you found this tutorial helpful, please click on the like button. Share this video with your friends. Share this video in your sewing groups. Subscribe to my channel, and feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Lizama Stitches. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.